One viewers. Thank you for joining me on another episode on Sunnylanka. I'm your host Priya, and today we will be making Ambul Polos curry. This is a very popular dish in Sri Lanka because of the abundance of jackfruit. Jackfruit is consumed in all its stages of growth, and as much as I love the ripened fruit, I also love this curry version, which is quite meaty in texture and taste, and makes an excellent alternative for vegetarians or even meatless meals. So let's get started. First off, I'm using canned baby jack as this saves on a lot of cleaning, and honestly, I have no idea how to go about that process. And it's also cooked, so saves on time and energy, I guess. So first of all, drain and wash the pieces in the can, and then cut them down to bite-sized pieces, like so. The other main ingredient in this dish is 1 cup of coconut cream, or the first milk extracted from the coconut, which is the thick coconut milk. So now on to the rest of the ingredients.
A pinch of mustard seeds, roasted curry powder, about a teaspoon and a half, raw curry powder, also a teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoons of red chili powder, and this can be adjusted to taste. If you don't like it too spicy, then you can bring it down a bit. A pinch of turmeric, I have here a 1/4 teaspoon, and you need 1 gorica piece. I have here a medium-sized piece, which should be good enough for the whole dish. If you have them smaller, then you can use 2, and if it's larger, then you should remember to take it out without the dish getting too sour. I have 1 large onion chopped up, and about 3 cloves of garlic chopped up also. You need a little bit more of garlic for this dish. A piece of cinnamon, it's about 1.5 inches of cinnamon, 2 cloves and 3 cardamom pods, a teaspoon of fennel seeds, not fennel, fenugreek seeds, a handful of green curry leaves, and rampa, and mine are frozen, so that's why they look like that, but you can use fresh and that should be better. Salt to taste, and of course some oil and water for the curry. So let's get started. Okay, I'm using a clay pot today. You don't have to, but it does taste nice in a clay pot. So once the pot is dry, I'm just going to add in my oil. Just about a tablespoon, not too much. And add in your mustard seeds. Okay. Let them pop. Once the mustard seeds start popping, put in your cinnamon, clove, and cardamom pods. Brings out a nice aroma. Roast them a little bit. So just roast it slightly, and then add in all of your onions and garlic. And a good mix. Now my curry leaves are not as fresh as I would like them, but try to use fresh curry leaves rather than frozen, because it does add a nice flavor to the dish. I'm going to let the onions soften. In the meantime, add in the rampa and the curry leaves. And I'm now also going to put in the gorica, and just let it soften with the heat. You could also put it in some water and zap it in the microwave a little bit, or use some boiling water to soften the gurkha. But I find that I don't want it too sour, so it works better for me. About a minute more, maybe, just until the onions start to slightly brown but not burn or cook. In about a minute. And now I'm going to add in all of my spices. So turmeric, the raw curry powder, and these, the raw and the roasted curry powder, you can get it from any Sri Lankan store, and the red chili powder. Now generally Ambul Polos is on a spicier side. Okay, so now give the spices a minute to roast there, and just, you know, everything gets coated nicely. Now I'm going to add in when you start smelling the spices, you can add in the baby jack, the Polos. And 1 can is not too much, so this is just for my husband and myself, so it should be enough for us. But otherwise, for a family of 4, I would probably use 2 cans. Just going to mix it around a little bit. Okay, you don't want to do it, you have to be gentle because it is cooked already, so you just want to be gentle not to break the jackfruit too much. Once it's all coated, okay, at which point I'm going to add in some water, and that's just enough to sort of reach up to the jackfruit. Not too much. It's not overly a gravy, but just a little sauce maybe. Okay, and then we will be adding in the coconut milk as well, so it'll add to that. Okay, and I'm going to let that cook now for about 5 to 10 minutes. What I'm looking for is that the gravy comes together and I see that the oil will separate and come on the top. You can cover the dish partly and then let it cook too, and leave it aside for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so now you can see that the oil has started to separate on the top, and one thing I did do in between, right after I forgot to add in the salt, so I added in the salt as well, and you should do that while you are putting in the rest of the spices. You can add in the salt with your baby jack. So the salt is already here, so at this point you can taste to see that you have everything in its right proportions, and then you can add in your coconut milk. Now this is heavy coconut cream, or the cream of coconut, so you want to add in the whole cup, and then also bring down the heat slightly so as not to get it to separate. Okay, and at that point you can also add in your roasted curry powder. So do that, and then give everything a good mix. And the roasted curry powder gives the curry a nice darker color. Okay, and I am going to let that simmer on very low heat for as long as you can. So even if it's about 15 to 20 minutes, all you're going to do is let it be on very low heat, and don't cover it, but just let it simmer. And we'll get back in about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so now it's been 20 minutes actually, and I could keep it longer, but as you can see, the coconut, from the coconut milk, the oil has already started coming out on top. And that's what we're waiting for. And then after that, you can let it sit for as long as you can. Okay, so and we are done. Okay, so I'm going to turn the stove off and let's dish it out. There you have it, folks. Today's dish, Ambul Polos or baby jack curry, Sri Lankan style. I hope you try it and enjoy it. So thank you for watching this video, and if you did like it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to show your support. So until next time, Ayubowan.